Right here. Okay, right here. Yeah.
All right. How y'all doing?
You can get them pumped up for me. Go right ahead. Yeah.
What? I'm just saying hello.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. How are you?
I'm good. I can't complain. How's the family?
Everybody's good.
Nice. Kids good?
Yes.
Nice. What are you going to be for Halloween?
Well, I'm terrible. The night of Halloween, I'm going out of town. So we're going to celebrate early in the day. And I haven't figured out what I'm going to be, but we're going to Six Flags tomorrow.
Fright Fest.
Fright Fest.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. It's been more than 3 decades since you made your mark in entertainment. And, you know, singer, songwriter, television personality. I mean, it's just been remarkable. A creative icon you are. What's it like being Kandi Burruss in 2025?
I don't know. I'm just Kandi Burruss. I don't know how to. I don't know how it feels like to be anybody else. But in 2025, I feel like this has been a. I mean, I always feel like my years have been like crazy from beginning to end. But I feel like this year has been transitional. Yeah.
Why transitional?
I felt like I started the year off on fire. Like I came into the year, everything was on point, you know, I was doing everything that I said I was going to do. And then somewhere in the like 6th, 7th month, it just started being like, wait. What is going on? Like, what are you doing? What is life? What's happening in life? And I know everybody was like, retrograde or something was that. Retrograde was retrograding me. So yeah, but now I feel like I'm, you know, getting back into my best self. I just said I had to refocus and, you know, keep my eyes on the prize.
Yeah, I love it. I'm always working on my next move while I'm on my current move. I love that. I'm always working on my next move while I'm on my current move. What's your next move?
What is my next move? Okay, well, we just announced 2 of my next moves this week.
Yeah.
So the first one, well, it's not coming up first. So what's coming up next? I've signed on to be a part of the cast for And Juliet on Broadway.
Nice.
So that will be starting, I think I'll be on stage December 11th through March, the first week of March. And then immediately, well, really we'll be getting prepared, but I'm also producing on August Wilson's Joe Turner's Come and Gone, which is starring Taraji P. Henson and Cedric the Entertainer. So I'm super excited about that. And that, I think the previews start in March and the opening night is like early April.
Yeah. That's part of your genius. I love that. I mean, you were a producer for Othello, right? Denzel Washington Othello. I don't know if you guys knew that. She produced that. And it's so funny because when I hear No Scrubs, I be thinking like, wait, I forgot Kandi wrote that song, right?
Yeah.
I was talking to a journalist friend of mine, Tatiana Moat. I said, I got Kandi coming to BLK. What would you ask her? And she said, ask her if she ever feels like she's not a part of that icon conversation. Because you see so many people that, you know, obviously the superstars, they get their shine, they get their love. But here you are, you have production credits, bills, no scrub, producer for Broadway, longest tenured housewife, right? And your own music career, right? Do you feel like you left out of that icon conversation?
Yes, but I don't know. I think I'll probably leave myself out of it as well. It was funny that you say that because I was having a conversation with my friend just yesterday, and she was asking me, like, who were the people that I looked up to in the industry? Like, who are the people that inspire me? And I was saying Queen Latifah, Steve Harvey, LL Cool J. These are people that inspire me because they have transitioned their career from one space to something totally different that people wouldn't have expected them to do if they just met them in the beginning, you know? And And then she hit me back and she was like, well, your name is on that list as well. And I was like, well, you said the people that inspired me. And she was like, well, no, you're on my list. And it made me be like, oh, it made me feel like that was so sweet. But, I guess I aspired to do those things and seeing them being able to see Queen Latifah back in the early 90s go from, rapper to, producer of television, actress, manager. She was managing artists. She was doing all kind of stuff. And so that was an inspiration for me to be like, you know what? I was a teenager still. So for me, it was like, wow, I'm going to do the same thing. And I guess I spoke that and I've done that, and I feel like I'm constantly working at taking it to the next level and accomplishing that dream of, being in that list of greats.
Yeah. Well, you took you back there when you was in your teenage years, so, let's stay there, right? You grew up right here in this city in Atlanta, right?
I'm so 80 year.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was that like for you? And what did you learn from your parents?
Ooh, okay. Coming up in Atlanta, I feel like my family dynamic is very different. So my parents divorced when I was like 4. But my father's side of the family is extremely, religious. My grandfather and my great-grandfather were bishops in the Holiness Church. Actually, right on Martin Luther King, Bethlehem Church of God Holiness is the main church. But we used to they had like 30-something or it's close to 50 churches across the country. And, every year we had the convention and all that type of stuff. But my mom's side of the family, a lot different. My mom's the youngest of 14 kids. They all from Summerhill and, real ATL. And, and that was the side I was around the most, So for me, just, coming up in Atlanta, my mom always wanted better for me. Like, they and my brother. I had an older brother. He passed when I was 15. But, she put me in a minority to my majority program. So, I grew up off of Washington Road, but I always went to school. If y'all familiar with the Atlanta area, I went to Ridgeview Middle School. I went to Hertz Ferry Elementary, and I went to Tri-Cities High School. That was the first black school I went to, even though I grew up in a black neighborhood. And, everybody that was around me that's influenced in my life were black, but my mama bused me to the north side of school, to go to school for elementary and middle. That was kind of like my upbringing. I was because of my family dynamic and my mom's family, we were kind of exposed to a lot of things, the world, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it was definitely not judgmental on that side. Everybody is welcome and, we all supportive and, we have each other back, you know what I mean? It's a very cool situation. But the one thing that I would say about my mom, every weekend, we used to drive around and look at houses in nicer neighborhoods to say the neighborhood we wanted to live in one day.
Speaking into your existence.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's what she was doing then. I didn't realize that's what we were doing. But we were always, but the areas that we mainly drove around was those really nice houses in Fayetteville, near where Rick Ross lived now, but, the neighborhoods over there and also off of Cascade. Yeah. And now the neighborhood I live in is one of the neighborhoods I used to drive past every day that we couldn't get in because of the gate.
Yeah.
Wow,
that's dope. Yeah. That's dope. You look at your career as a whole, right? And, Xscape, My Little Secret, that's my favorite song. We was talking about this. Can you sing it after? No? I had to ask. I gotta ask.
You're trying to put me on the spot.
But,
we'll see.
If you had to describe your career as a whole in one word, what would it be?
If I had to describe my career, That's kind of tough. It's all over the place. But I'll definitely say a roller coaster.
Roller coaster. Why that?
Well, because throughout my career, sometimes I have really, really high highs. And then, on a roller coaster, it dips down.
Yep.
But I just stay on the journey so it comes back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you look at the music business today, right, and everything that's going on, and I know you're, involved with the group that you're developing, but when you look at it today as a whole, what do you see?
The music industry today is definitely way different than it was back in the 90s when I first started. Now I feel like it's so much opportunity for people to, build themselves up without the assistance of a label, back in the day, you had to be developed, you had to get somebody to sign you, to get out there. But now, you can start just being consistent on social media, putting your videos up, making sure you catch all the right trends so you can, hopefully get picked up and start trending. And then you can release your own song. You don't need necessarily that machine. The other part that's missing, though, is, I feel like because artists aren't developed, a lot of times the quality ain't always the same either, And then, the marketing isn't always the same. So you catch a lot of one-hit wonders because the labels is they're chasing the person that's, have a hot song right now for the moment, and they're not really trying to spend a lot of money. So they're not like really invested in the talent.
Yeah, and because of that, the replay value of a lot of songs, is out the window, right? Well, take me inside your business empire. I know that restaurant thing. You see, we were talking on the phone. You said, Jabari, that is on the job training. And the old lady gang. You still have the steak and seafood spot?
No, we don't.
Closed down.
It's closed
done.
down. Yeah.
I know you said it's tough. You got the hard business, human capital, the staff inside of it. But what's been the biggest positive surprise about being in the restaurant industry?
You said the positive.
Positive, yeah. I know the negatives. What's the positive?
Well, what I was saying to him, because they didn't hear our conversation, I was saying to him, out of all the businesses that I've done, the restaurant industry was the hardest and has been the hardest, the biggest headache. And that's because mainly it depends so much on the people your team that's working for you. And it's a lot of, especially since COVID, it's been high turnover in the service industry. So, once you get a good team, people over there trying to take your people, and it's like a constant change, and it's just crazy. But throughout this, I feel like, what I realized and what I found is that it's not just us. It's a lot of restaurants that's having, the same issues and problems. But for all the years that we did, where Old Lady Gang was popping for a long time.
It still is.
Yeah, it's still doing its thing. We still have Old Lady Gang on Camp Creek. It's still doing its thing. But what I'm saying is the high of the restaurant, it was just it was like definitely that place where everybody came to have fun and, where everybody would look forward to. We used to always do so many different events and a lot of fun things. And I like to have fun.
Yeah.
So, I'm here for an event, okay?
Yeah.
So it was really like a good meeting place, and that's what I really enjoyed about it. And then, for me, to feel like family with some of the people that, worked with us and I still talk to. And even if they don't work for us no more, we still hang out. And, some of my actual family worked there. So that's a whole nother thing in itself. But the best part about it was being able to employ so many people.
Nice, yeah.
Because, my goal since, at least, the last 14 years. I wanted to, my 14 years ago, before I did that show, The Candy Factory, I was like, God, one day I want to be able to say I employed at least 100 people. And
did you get there?
Yes.
You got there, good.
Yes.
Nice.
So I was like, it was just like, I don't know. It was like a dream. I don't know why that was my dream. It was my dream.
Yeah.
And it actually came true. So whether it's the production of the shows that I've been able to get picked up and do things, you know, it's like the whole goal is to say, you know, like I help put money in lots of people's pockets.
That's right.
You know, and I felt like, you know, when you were doing it, it's cool that you did it for yourself or whatever. But when you did it and you put other people on,
That feels good.
That's when you really did it.
It
You
feels
know?
good. Yeah. Well, what's your top advice to building a business now in 2025 in this attention economy?
I just feel like every business needs marketing. Like,
Does it need marketing?
marketing.
Okay.
Because it's like, I feel like, especially when people are first starting out, they don't realize the importance of investing into the business.
Yeah.
As soon as their business starts making money, it's like, they're like, oh, they're ready to floss and be flashy, and so they want people to see it. But that's not what's important. What's important is investing in your team and investing in the marketing. Because whenever you slip on that, that's when you see, like, you might be hot for a second, but that's when the thing starts fading out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. What's been Kandi's biggest failure, and what did you learn from it?
My biggest? Ooh. I mean, I feel like I've had lots of moments of failure. You know, everybody didn't always see it, but it was lots of moments where things did not work out as planned. You know, I feel like in the beginning, when our group fell apart, that was a huge failure. And when I say my group, I'm talking about Xscape. You know, we had 3 successful albums, and we broke up because we couldn't get along. So it wasn't like we had a flop record or something. It didn't. That had nothing to do with it. We had 3 platinum albums, multiple platinum and gold singles, and all of the good stuff. But at the end, the thing that defeated us was us. So it was a tough lesson to learn, you know, and at the same time, for me, it was like, you know how they say a gift and a curse? It was actually a curse and a gift for me. Because when things started falling apart in the group, I started, you know, like, I don't want to be broke. It's not going to happen. So I was like, oh my God, we got to figure this out. What we going to do? I'm telling Tiny, I'm like, yo, like, we got to figure this out. What we going to do? You know, one of our members is going solo. We need to figure out what you want, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe you and I could come together, do a project together. So we had started. I was like, come on, let's go in the studio so we can do these songs and make it and show the label what a project for Kandi and Tiny would sound like. You know what I mean? I was like, we should do our own demos, right? You know,
Yeah.
because we can do that. Even though we really hadn't been doing that with the group. We had wrote a little bit here and there, but nothing that was like, you set the creative direction. Yeah. So she and I, we got in the studio, and no scrubs came out of it.
That's right.
You know, that wasn't the plan, but you don't know where your blessing is coming from. And from there, it just opened the door for me to be able to write for so many people. So it's the gift, because if things didn't start falling apart with my group, I probably would have been comfortable, and I probably wouldn't have been so stressed about, let's get these songs. I was like damn near living in the studio. Like, that's how serious I was about it. And I don't think I would have had the same sense of urgency if, you know, the group was still set to do the next album and get the next big check or whatever, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you look back at all, and I want to get to the crowd questions here, you can say you made it through that, right? On the other side of it was your superpower.
What's my superpower?
Yeah, what's your superpower?
Ooh, I feel like I got a lot of superpowers.
Top 3.
Okay, somebody asked me like, if I had to be something, what would I be? And it was, I would be a generator.
Not an accountant like you wanted to be back then?
No, I'm not talking about
Okay, I know.
the person that, I'm talking about the actual generator
yeah.
that lights up the building. So what I'm saying is a generator not only powers themselves up, like when I got a generator on my house, when the lightning hit and the lights go out, the generator comes on. It powers itself up and it powers the whole house up. So what I'm saying is I'm a generator because even when I feel down, even when things aren't, where they need to be, I know how to self-motivate myself, and I can motivate the people around me. And I could, make power for myself, and I can power them up to get what they need to get to.
Yeah. That is a superpower. Yeah. See, oh yeah, that was just one. That was a generator. That's it. I'm gonna take some questions from the crowd here and start to the top from Brian Seymour. Where's Brian at? Stand up, Brian. Well, yeah, there you go. With several different businesses you run, how have you put a team around you that allows you? It disappeared. Please put the questions back up, please. Somebody put the questions back up on the monitor. Oh, there you go. There you go. How have you put a team around you that allows you to be your best self?
Ooh. Okay. I have a small team, by the way. People that I trust, and people that, keep me going. They don't allow me to BS. You know what I mean? So I think we all have a like mindset of, okay, what we got going on, what's happening next, let's get on top of it. And so I have Don Juan, who's right there. That's my right hand. We've been working together since Riley was a baby, so 23 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And I have Nick Roses, who's also like a part of my management team. He's definitely gotta go, and we curse each other out sometimes.
Yeah.
But you need somebody who's gonna keep you on edge sometimes, and is great at negotiating.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't mind being the bad guy.
Yeah.
Neither does Don Juan.
Yeah.
Then I have 2 publicists.
Why 2?
I used to say that too, because that's expensive.
They are.
Well, that was actually something that Nick put me on. So different people have different contacts. So, sometimes, certain publicists may have more contacts to get you in this world of where you're trying to get to. And sometimes this publicist has that connection you need, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it has definitely worked out for me. And what I will say is, and I always try to, like the difference in myself and maybe people that I'm around all the time, a lot of people don't necessarily invest in stuff like that. Like for me, I know that you have to make sure your presence is felt in order for people to know what you got going on, in order to be in the right places at the right time, to be able to make the right connections. So that's an investment in yourself.
That's right.
It's not just gonna just happen. And sometimes people think just because they're popular that they should be the obvious choice, and it does not work that way. And soon you may not be popular.
That's right.
And so you definitely have to have a team of people that's constantly working to keep you where you need to be in the moments where things aren't as busy,
Yeah,
So.
Love that. From Kyra Lawrence. Kyra, stand up. Where you at, Kyra? There she goes. Kyra Lawrence. You've mastered turning every platform into profit. How do you decide which opportunities build your legacy versus distract from your bigger vision?
That's a good one. Okay, so last year, my goal, so every year I have like a theme for how I want my year to be. Like it's a theme word or, something that I'm motivated to do to keep me going for the following year. So last year, coming into 2025, I said I wanted to narrow my focus because I felt like, you know how you could have a lot of different businesses, a lot of different things happening. All of them you may not be as passionate about. Some of them really not making you that much money. Like it may could be making money, but not as much as if you put all your focus into this other thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because like, and that happens to some of us who, you know, are in multiple lanes. You know, you can find yourself being pulled and you're distracted.
Yeah.
You know? So my goal was to narrow my focus so that I could just really start being in the zone on things and use the extra time to enjoy life.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes I could be a workaholic and I don't really have as much fun. But if y'all notice this year, if y'all follow me on social media, I've been having fun. But, so the thing that's scary about that, though, I felt like sometimes you can speak things and you ain't really ready for what it's about to bring. So what I mean by that is I said, okay, I want to narrow my focus. And that's what I'm going to do. So I started out at, I had my clothing store Tags. We had been doing it for over 14 years. And, you know, everything had been going just fine or whatever. You know, financially, it's up, down, you know, not really like killing like it could have been if I would have been totally focused on that. But I was like, you know what? My business partner, she's also my friend. I just told her, you know what? You can have that. Like, you could take over that, you can have that because I'm trying to narrow my focus. And I'm like, okay, I narrowed something off the list. And next thing I know, then I started having all the back and forth issues about Blaze, the restaurant. So that became like, I was like, okay, we about to narrow that. Then we decided to close the OLG that was on Peter Street. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't planning that. Like, well, it's not that I wasn't planning it. We own the building, so people be putting out false rumors saying like, oh, they didn't, you know, like they could. No, we still own the building. Yeah. But the business itself, the overhead was more than what it was really making. Right. So it really wasn't making sense to keep it on. It makes us more to lease the space. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So I was like, well, dang, you know, because sometimes you just have things that you just like just because you like it, but it's not necessarily profiting, you know? So then, I've been working with this girl group, invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into, okay? Then they start having issues amongst themselves. And I'm like, okay, now, when I said I was narrowing my focus, like, this is, like, what is happening here? You know, so it's just kind of like, I do feel that you do have to take a moment to look at all the things that you are doing and say, hey, what am I doing because it's lucrative? What am I doing because it's a passion project? And what am I doing that really ain't, it's just taking my time that I can really just release? So you got to go through that.
Yeah, I love that. Well, listen, I know earlier I asked you about being an icon, and even people may not put you on certain lists online, but we here think that you are an icon, a creative icon. So with that, I want to present you with our Creative Icon Award. Please bring that out.
Thank you.
Named after a fallen soldier of ours. And this is yours, Creative Icon. Kandi Burruss, please give it up for her. You deserve it. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Absolutely.